It is February 19th, 2022, and I had made another eggless egg salad sandwich of the last of what I had of remaining of the filler here. Another soy milk coffee, the hit or miss measurement, hit or miss. It's good. The sandwich is already made. It's in the other room.
Take this.
I'm recording.
Is it cold out? Yeah, I would say 30 some odd degrees is cold.
Oh. This is a... Oh man, oh man. Let's see. Yeah. Open this bottle. Yeah. Oh, I forgot to stir it, but that's okay. The last two times I stirred it ahead of time before adding the wet ingredient, or the water, I should say. So it's February 19th, 2022. This is the third time I'm doing this. Third day in a row. Yeah, okay, great. But yeah, okay, I heard enough of you. Go, just go. Yeah, I'll do it in a little bit. Yes, yeah. I'll do it. Okay, go. Yeah, okay, yeah, I'll go. Well, you're right. I'll do it in a minute. Just go. I'm in the middle of doing. No. I'm in the middle of doing this right now. Go. You're bothering me. Stop. I'll send it in a minute. Literally 5 minutes. Oh God, just stop. Just go. It'll go. Okay. I'll send it in PayPal in a little bit. Jeez. Now this one here, he kept recording his daily breakfast, lunch, and dinners where even if he was eating the same thing the following day after making the following days in succession after making the meal the first time around with his leftovers. He even posted recordings of him eating leftovers because he has a delusional disorder, thinking that, you know, people, as if people don't believe he's eating his breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay, I'm just joking. Yeah, okay, great, good. I was saying it's like a Wizard of Oz type thing, the scarecrow didn't have courage, I think it was, and then oh God, just go. The Tin Man needed oil, you know what I'm saying? Well, this one here was is the Wizard of Oz syndrome, you know what I'm saying? I was just talking about where this one was recording. He has a mental health condition disorder where he records his daily breakfast, lunch, and dinner activities days in succession when he's eating leftovers. and documenting them. And here, yes. It doesn't matter. I was saying, who cares when you're technically I'm aiming towards being a billionaire, right? That's where it still does matter. You know what I'm saying? But people do this all the time, this type of thing. But, even if you're a billionaire, depending on, how much data you're wasting on the internet and stuff, it's not necessarily a waste. It all depends. It could always be deleted. You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? Regarding to erotomania, that has more of an negative impact on society that I didn't know until currently, where it's like an A simulated Y, because, for instance, if one person would benefit being with another where it's like they see the other one being held behind, where they could be having an easier life. Let's say that other person, I don't commute to work, but I have the ability of making a living from my house, whereas the person, let's say if I was interested in someone who was still commuting to work, I don't know if they're commuting, if but I if they were with me, they wouldn't have to commute to work. We would be working on frugal or this type stuff. You know what I'm saying? We'd open up a restaurant, have other people, or a bakery, and other people would be we would just manage it from our place, but we would have other people, we would have another manager actually at the location where, let's say, the bakery was, and where they made the food and stuff. Or we would have eventually a factory manufacture some of the food, like a Dunkin' Donuts chain or something. That's years late. That's like a long time from now. That's way ahead. Anyways. It didn't fully anyways, yeah. Some couples, or some people would benefit living with one another than who they may be currently living with. And if someone outside is perceiving, a possibility where chances are, not everyone is, because, okay, my brother went to college. He went to a state college, but when he was in college, he never learned the material I was learning when I was in high school on my own time and at home, when it came to dynamic programming and extensible programming. And that when I was doing it was called dynamic programming. There was extensible programming, but I didn't come across that term until later on. But it was the same thing basically. Whereas with dynamic programming, it was to render animations using math or trigonometry, stuff like that, duplicating objects on the screen using loops and things. Whereas when my brother was going to college at the time, he wasn't learning the same stuff. They were learning more of the introductory stuff that I didn't want to have to relearn after I graduated high school. That's why I chose not to go to college. In addition to 20 years ago, I was recovering from near fatal incident. So I can't travel on my own beyond, let's say, 20 minutes driving distance on a familiar back road. I can't on my own. Whereas if I had someone who was an experienced driver that would extend that route, that back road with me, then maybe I would make that exception, but it wouldn't be too much further, maybe another 10 minutes or so beyond the 20-minute mark. You know what I'm saying? And that's see, people, when they hear, they only think of, when people hear someone claiming that they have agoraphobia, they're relating it to the severity of someone who claims to have or has claustrophobia. Whereas agoraphobia is beyond the scope of an interior building, whereas they're relating the severity of the impact of agoraphobia only being isolated closer within proximity to that of the description of how debilitating claustrophobia is. But let me tell you, if you can't travel beyond 20 minutes on your own on a familiar route, on the back roads even, beyond that on your own, that's agoraphobia, and that's debilitating. Obviously, that's a limitation on also the fact of, okay, well, there's a job opening down the street 5 minutes away from where you live. And it's like, okay, yeah, but do you realize that if, let's say, you had the creator of Craigslist, and whereas if people recognized him by looking up his net worth, that his net worth is over $1 billion, you realize that if you're restricting him from actually having an income within that range, providing him that net worth that is published publicly online. Obviously, if he was seen by someone or stalked by someone who wanted to rob him of, let's say, beyond $300 limit at the ATM, he would probably only be able to provide that to someone, who was robbing him, if he still was running Craigslist and if he wasn't working at a minimum wage job. Whereas if they restricted him from using his skill set with what he's already demonstrated on the internet, and if he's like if he doesn't have more than the $300 limit restriction on his ATM lifted, if he was being robbed, he could get shot. And it would have been because of the other people who were playing that game. You see? They don't realize how dangerous that they're being immature. And the fact of not understanding that, like with a web app developer or software developers, whereas like this has happened before with, let's say, the creators of Adobe when they were working on, I think it was PDF documents, Acrobat Reader in the early 90s. They were kidnapped, or one of them was, and then the wife was threatened that if she didn't, for ransom, that if she didn't provide them the money, that they would have dismembered her husband or something at gunpoint and everything. So that can happen, yeah. And just the fact of someone having a skill set, even they may not even have to have an income, they may not have any, and they're just based off an assumption, or they may be even kidnapped for their skill set, for what their intelligence of what they can do on a computer, for instance. You see what I'm saying? Anyways, it's a bit darker today. It's okay. A little extra coffee, I think. Oh, yeah, another 25 seconds. It was actually 24, but that's okay. Oh. See if I can do this in time.